You don't want you want to free from this process of mind and matter. And you don't want to be reborn again. And this is said to be you reach to the knowledge of desire for freedom. The knowledge of desire from freedom. The free from the process of mind and matter. After some time, you will feel various painful feelings at this stage of knowledge. You will face various painful feelings on some part of your body, or even intensive pain may arise. You experience this pain feeling since the beginning. It's middle, it's nothing special, but this state of knowledge, you will experience even intensive pains may arise. But you can easily contemplate on such painful feelings, and finally they are ceased under the power of your concentration and insight knowledge, because you have strong concentration, sharp, just the insight knowledge. In this stage, some kind of your old disease or troublesome regarding about your body, which you have undergone so many years, is incredibly cured. If you practice meditation more than 3 weeks, if you reach to this state of knowledge, most of meditators, they experience about it.
Which one is this? Is this the Dr. Freedom or the next one?
Yes. Yeah. This is the knowledge of desire for freedom. So we have a lot of experience about that. Some doctor said you have to make operation regarding about something inside. Make operation, so they're afraid about that. And then they go practice meditation for 1 month, 2 months before the appointment, before the operation, 1 week. And you go to see a doctor. The doctor take X-ray, it's nothing. Say, what kind of medicine you take? Say, I don't take any medicine. I go to sit meditation at meditation center. So this is a state of knowledge. Some kind of your old disease can be cured. This is incredible, right? There's no more giving trouble to you the rest of your life. Don't have to worry about this kind of disease. It's enough for temporary. However, the painful feeling which arises in the stage is lesser than the painful feelings that used to arise since the beginning, before you reach to the knowledge of rise and fall. You're two parts, right? That's why the painful feeling in this state is not become unbearable, and it's not existed so long after you make contemplation on it. But for the first time, maybe you deal with this painful feeling maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, maybe so many times to overcome, right? But for this insight knowledge, it's not rest so longer. When you contemplate on maybe 1 time, 2 times, maybe it's gone. This because of your concentration and insight knowledge so strong. And for the beginning stuff, your concentration just begin, right? So you have to deal with this painful feeling maybe many days to overcome it. In this state, you may change your posture many often. While sitting, you think that you will do better walking. You are feeling that. And then you go to walk, practice walking meditation. While walking, you want to resume sitting. Oh, I want to sitting. I will sit maybe better than I'm walking. Your mind, this is the nature of this insight knowledge. Right? After you have sat down, ready for sitting meditation, then you want to go to another place or want to lie down. Maybe I lie down or lying down meditation may be better. Then you want to change your posture many often, but you just contemplate on all the time. But your mind want to change. You cannot remain in one particular position longer. This means you are not satisfied with your contemplation. Even it's good, you're not satisfied with it, you think it's not good. This means you are not satisfied with this your contemplation. Again, you may become restless. Maybe you think about, why happen like this? I practice now, maybe a month or 2 months, why my concentration become weak like this? Something like that, you may think about that, but should not despair. All this happen because you come to realize the true nature of this formation, which they manifest as mass of suffering. See, oh, it's not good. By walking, oh, it's not good. I sit. It's not good. It's lying down. So, however, you should try to adhere to one posture. When you know, this is the nature of this insight knowledge, I try to, maintain my this position. It's the one posture. As soon after, you will find that you are comfortable in that posture. Just maybe 1 day or 2 days will pass then. So now you feel comfortable in this one posture. And then your minds will gradually become composed and bright. It's not like that before. Your feeling, your change. In order to escape from this mass of suffering, you make reflection on transiency, sorrowfulness, and absence of self, of conditioned things. This is the 3 characteristics of mind and body. Because you want to free from this process of mind and matter. This is said to be, you reach to the knowledge of recomprehension. And you can gain these knowledges, which from the knowledge of falling to the knowledge of recomprehension during for a few days or one day, even for one period of sitting meditation. Please remember it. From the knowledge of falling to this the knowledge of recomprehension. Maybe you sit meditation about a few days, or maybe one day, or one period of sitting meditation. Your insights, that becomes increased step by step. It's not like that the first one, the second, the third one, we have to deal with this our meditation object many days. But for the insight, this insight knowledge, maybe one day you can reach to this state. And after that, you will reach to the knowledge of equanimity about formation. After you pass this kind of knowledges, you reach to this the knowledge of equanimity about formation. This very important insight knowledge to deal with. And when you reach to this the knowledge of equanimity about formation, your noticing runs smoothly as if no effort is required. Permanence, satisfactoriness, and unsubstantiality are becoming evident without any reflection. The first one maybe had to think about these three characteristics. Now, without any reflection, very so evidenced, see it, or sometimes it's about the impermanency. Rise and this being. Sometimes about this satisfactoriness, sometimes uncontrollability has become evident. And the objects being noticed become sparse. This means, but firstly, when you contemplate in your body, you may feel sensation, you feel any painful feeling or vibrations, so many things rise in your body. But now, it becomes sparse. It's very slow, just maybe it's only one. You arise slowly, something like that. And you can notice them easily and calmly. For example, if you contemplate on your abdomen, just arising. For you don't feel other sensation, just on here, very slow. Just very easily, comfortably, as calmly. And when you sit and make contemplating, the object of meditation gradually becomes subtler and subtler. You are suffused with serenity. For the first time, whenever you contemplate on our object of meditation is the rough, right? See. But this state of knowledge, the object of meditation, gradually becomes subtler and subtler. If you contemplate on your abdomen, this state of knowledge is very tiny one. Just moving little, just very little. As the object is very subtle, your mind also becomes subtle. You're not concerned with about outside world at the time. Mind just observe when it's a very subtle object. That's why you are suffused with serenity. And you may even feel that your body disappears. Sometimes you can, oh, where's my head? Where's my body? You cannot feel it. Your body disappears because so subtle. And living only with the noting mind, but you still notice, contemplate on it. So living only with noting mind or knowing mind, you know you are sitting. And for long period of time, it's not for just a few minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe 1 hour, you stay with a very subtle object. So gradually it becomes subtle, subtle, and subtle. This, if you experience about that, you know that, oh, I'm reached to this, the knowledge of equanimity about formation. Equanimity is when you don't care about sankhara, right? About this formation. You just contemplate on this arising and disappearing. At some time, you might also see brightness, like a clear sky. In your view, before you reach to the knowledge of rise and fall, when you see that, maybe you feel very happy, you are proud yourself at that moment. But here it's not like that, But this mark experiencing do not influence you excessively, because you already experienced about it before. And you are able to contemplate on desirable and undesirable object, or pleasant and unpleasant object equally, without pleasure or displeasure, like or dislike. Whatever you see, right, just equal. This your mind, your insight knowledge is so high, so you don't care. You see desirable object, normally you like that, right? You have just a pleasant feeling. Now, just equanimity, just neutral feeling. As you free from the painful feeling, you can sit and contemplating even for a few hours without moving. See? Why you can sit longer like that? There's no painful feeling. Even there's no feature of our body. Right? Just noting mind, no knowing mind. That's why you can sit even a few hours. Even you sit for a few hours without experiencing any discomfort, it's very comfortable for you. And spending your time tirelessly. Formerly, if you will sit meditation, sometimes, for the beginning, for the 1 week, you don't want to sit place you used to sit because you feel painful feeling every time. Now, it should not feel like that, because it's comfortable for you. You can spending your time tirelessly. Intending to sit and contemplate for a while. You may go on for 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes, I sit for 15 minutes or half an hour. Once you really sit and contemplate, maybe go for 2 or 3 hours. At this stage of insight knowledge, it says to be the top of mundane insight knowledge. This is the top of mundane insight knowledge.
This is still equanimity of observation.
Yes. This is the top of insight knowledge. When this insight knowledge becomes more mature, sometimes the object you are noting arises quickly. Any part of your body. The object you are noting arises quickly. Then you may become anxious that what would happen to me? You will become anxious about that. And however, you should notice such an anxiety. If you not contemplate on this anxiety, it's a problem too. You cannot reach higher. So you should notice such an anxiety. You may look forward to progress of insight. If you do not know this anticipation, sometimes you may think that the goal is very near. It's over. Maybe I will gain enlightenment soon, this time. Don't think about that, If you think about it, just mental anxiety. Otherwise it disturbs you. By contemplating with the great energy, something, it's my goal is very too near, so I try the best with great energy. Then, conversely, notice things become lax and retrogressive. Because of what? Because your this anxiety. However, if sufficient strength of insight has not yet been achieved or developed, concentrations become slack again. Even if practice, if not reached to the level, it becomes slack again. In this case, you may progress higher and fall back again several times. That's why you should contemplate steadily whatever arises and balance your faith and wisdom, energy and concentration to be even with a strong mindfulness. For this state, some maybe during one day, several times. Maybe it takes several weeks or several months. So be careful, just whatever arises, just contemplate steadily. And you must balance your faith and wisdom, as we already studied, right? And energy and concentration with strong mindfulness. As soon as the five faculties are developed in and even manner. Now this your figure is the event. And you will soon experience the cessation of formation which gain the enlightenment and realize the supreme bliss. And mostly take time for this insight knowledge. After you pass this knowledge, this means you gain enlightenment. So you know when you reach to this knowledge, what kind of thing you will experience. So when you know that, you know about yourself. As now you are said to be reached to your spiritual destination, which is the first stage of the enlightenment, or stream entering, after you pass this knowledge. This means during the realization of the Four Noble Truths, such as the thought process, the time you gain enlightenment. Remember? It's the mind or adverting consciousness. Because manodvara vijana, right? In Pali, manodvara vijana, parikama, upachara, anuloma, godarabu, magga, phala. Remember that thought process. So during the realization of Four Noble Truths, such as thought process, namely mind or adverting consciousness, and preparation, proximity, conformity is the anuloma, right? A changing lineage, discoverable. Part consciousness is magga, and 2 or 3 foot consciousness arise. Then subsides into life continuums, bhavanga. After 2, 3 of foot consciousness rises, subsides into bhavanga. The duration of realizing will take place just for an instant of noting. Right? Just for an instant of noting. Here I would like all of you to know roughly from the knowledge of equanimity about formation, and then we reach to the realization of the Four Noble Truths. This means for an instant of noting, this means the function of eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind stop for a while, for instant.
So what is it that does that? What is it that causes them to stop?
Every sixth sense function stop. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you don't interfere anything. Just the sixth sense, the function of sixth sense stop. Just for an instant of noting, just 1 second. So now we're talking about this the process of just the magga. So for the numbers of insight here, the 12, right? 12. This the 12th stage of insight is the knowledge of conformity, anuloma jnana. But if you start anuloma jnana, this the knowledge of conformity cannot stop. Anuloma, Godarabu, Magga, Phala. That's why this the knowledge of equanimity about formation is very important. See, it's very important because that state of insight is the top of mundane insight knowledge. After you pass that knowledge, just until 16, until the end, this knowledge comes together in one thought process. So that means your experience is in conformity with the lower stage of insight, which definitely previous 9 kinds of insight, and with the higher stage of insight or subsequent insight. That's what we call knowledge of conformity. I will explain this conformity. It means conformity with the previous knowledge. How many one? 9. 9 from where? 9. From the knowledge of comprehension. Right? This anuloma jnana is the what number?
12.
Number 12. So, number 12, this the previous knowledge 9. What does mean 9? Except knowledge of defining mind and matter and knowledge of discerning causes. It's not really the vipassana knowledge yet. Right? So we start to count from knowledge of comprehension as 1, right? Knowledge of right and false, 2, and knowledge of falling only, 3, knowledge of fearfulness, 4, knowledge of faultiness, 5, is knowledge of disgusting, 6, knowledge of desire for freedom, 7, knowledge of recomprehension, 8, knowledge of equanimity about formation, 9. See that, right? So this conformity here, it means your experience is in conformity with the lower stage of insight, which previous 9 kind of insight. And with the highest stage of insight, it means from Godrabu to this Godrabu knowledge of change lineage to the end, the knowledge of reviewing. That's what we call the knowledge of conformity. It conforms itself to the 37 factors of enlightenment. Remember when we studied chapter 7? This means the 37 factors of enlightenment is fulfilled at that moment. You experience, you develop, everyone. That's why we call the knowledge of conformity. In the stage of purification, from the second part of knowledge of right rising and falling, to this knowledge of conformity are belonging to purity of vision, discerning the matter. If we match with the purification, 6 purification, right? Number 6. Here, Godrabu here. The knowledge of change of lineage. It means at the moment the meditator changes or cuts off his worldly lineage and enter into the lineage of the Noble One. Since then, it's no more worldling. It becomes noble person. This Godrabu. This knowledge of change of lineage, even though it is the mundane wholesome consciousness, can take the Nibbana or supreme bliss as its object. Only one consciousness, please remember. Its reality is, remember, the sense sphere wholesome consciousness 8, right? Among 8, what is the associated wisdom? Only 4. 1 of 4. Right? This is reality. This is a sense sphere wholesome consciousness. Only one this mundane consciousness can take the supreme bliss as its object. Only one sense sphere wholesome consciousness can take Nibbana as object. Yeah. For like the knowledge of conformity, just take just the mundane object. Right? But for the Godrabu here, the knowledge of changes lineage, take supramundane, Nibbana, supreme bliss as object. We have sense sphere 54, right? Just only this wholesome consciousness only can take Nibbana as object. And also the knowledge of change of lineage does not belong to either 6 or 7 purification. See, it cannot belong to 6 or 7 purification, but it's reckoned as insight. Reckoned as insight, one insight knowledge. In realities, this preparation, proximity, preparation, prekama, proximity, upachara, and conformity, anuloma. When we start process, remember that these 3 are called Votthapana, Gamini, Vipassana. In Pali, it's the insight leading to emergence or the path. Emergence here means emergence from woeful state. Since he reached to this point, this emergence from woeful state, no more, to be reborn as woeful state. And sign of conditioned thing. At a time, no sign of conditioned thing. No sankhara. Now, it's the Nibbana as object. That's why Votthapana, Gamini, Vipassana means insight leading to emergence or the path. So after Godrabu, Magga, right? So in fact, the knowledge of equanimity about formation and the knowledge of conformity are called Votthapana, Gamini, Vipassana. See that? Vuttana Gamini Vipassana means what kind of insight knowledge? The knowledge of equanimity about formation and the knowledge of conformity are called Vuttapana Gamini Vipassana. And the knowledge of part Magga that fully understands the truth of suffering according to its thought process after Godrabu Magga. Right? This Magga, knowledge of part of Magga that fully understands of the truth of suffering. The truth of suffering we understand since the knowledge of comprehension is but it's not fully, right? It's not fully understand the truth of suffering, which arising and experience of conditioned things. This means this Magga understands the suffering and eradicates the cause of suffering, which crave. The first is understand the suffering. The second one eradicates the cause of suffering. The third is realize the cessation of suffering, which supreme bliss. At that moment, when the realization of noble truth, right, he realized the cessation of suffering, which the supreme bliss, and develops the way lead to cessation of suffering, which noble eightfold path. Now the noble eightfold path is fulfilled. We're talking about the knowledge of path. Understand the suffering, eradicate the cause of suffering, realize the supreme bliss, and develop the way lead to cessation of suffering. For the knowledge of fruits, phala jnana. Fruit is meant is the consequence of magga, right? With fruit, knowledge of fruit. In Pali they call phala. That following the path as fruit of the path, and which experience peace due to the cessation of mental defilement. Who realize the Nibbana, they can say that experience peace. Why do you experience peace? Due to the cessation of mental defilement. At that moment, no mental defilement, they feel very peaceful.